Think about this for a second. Who are you when you walk into a doctor's office? Are you just a name on a chart? A diagnosis? A list of symptoms? Or are you a whole person with a life and an identity that's way more complex than all that? Today, let's get into why seeing the person, not just the patient, is absolutely key to better healthcare for everyone. The truth is, we all contain multitudes, right? We're this incredible mix of backgrounds, of experiences, and perspectives. We're defined by our jobs and our passions, by our physical realities and our own personal histories. We're parents and we're creators. We speak different languages. We're part of these vibrant communities. The point is, none of us, not a single one of us, fits neatly into just one box. We are all so many things all at the same time. But what happens when all of that complexity gets ignored? What happens when, in a moment where you're feeling vulnerable, you get boiled down to a simple label? Well, this is exactly what happened to Mrs. Martin. She was in the emergency room with chest pains, and for a while, it was like she wasn't even there. Just another patient seemingly overlooked. But then, a nurse walked in who recognized her. She was the woman who taught Spanish to the hospital staff. And just like that, boom, she wasn't invisible anymore. She was Mrs. Martin, a person they knew, someone they could relate to. And that one moment of recognition changed everything about the care she received. Or, get this, there's a story of a dietitian doing a clinical rotation. Her name, Marissa Fitzgerald. It created a certain expectation. So when she showed up for her first day, her appearance clearly didn't match the picture they had in their minds. Now, the comment wasn't meant to be mean, but it was jarring. It was this instant reminder that they had already made up their minds about her before she'd even said a single word. So what's the big deal? What's the real cost of these little moments? It's so much more than just a brief, awkward encounter. The real cost is trust. It's communication. Because when patients feel unseen or understood, they're just not going to be as likely to share that crucial piece of information or to follow recommendations. They're less likely to believe their provider actually genuinely cares about them. Now, to try and bridge these gaps, healthcare professionals are often given tools, guides that are meant to help them understand patients from all sorts of different backgrounds. And, on the surface, this makes a lot of sense. You see charts like this one that try to sum up common views on medicine or family dynamics for different cultural groups. They're made with the best of intentions, right? As a starting point to promote awareness. But here's the tricky part. Where does a helpful starting point cross the line and become a harmful assumption? Because the reality is, nobody is a cookie-cutter version of their culture. As this speaker puts it so powerfully, a chart can never, ever capture the full unique identity of a person. An individual is always so much more than just a summary and a table. And this brings us right to the heart of the matter, to the absolute core of this issue. We have to understand the critical difference between a helpful generalization and a harmful stereotype. Okay, let's really break this down. A generalization, that's when you draw a broad conclusion from some specific info. It's usually a flexible starting point, something to get you going. A stereotype, though, that's different. That's a widely held but fixed and totally oversimplified idea about a person or a group. It locks people in, it completely ignores who they are as an individual. So one is a guide, but the other is a cage. This image just nails it, doesn't it? What you might guess from a cultural generalization, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the only part you can see. But underneath the surface, that's where the vast, unseen majority of a person's identity lies. Their unique experiences, their personality, their values, their family story, the whole shebang. The real challenge, for all of us, is to stop ourselves from judging and instead try to engage with the entire iceberg, not just that tiny little piece floating above the water. So if memorizing a bunch of cultural charts isn't the answer, then what is? Well, the solution is actually way simpler and a whole lot more human. It all starts with one word: trust. I mean, let's be realistic here. Knowing every single thing about every single culture and religion, that's impossible. So the goal isn't to become a walking encyclopedia. The goal is to learn techniques we can use universally with all patients. And building trust is without a doubt the single most important way to bridge any cultural barrier you might face. So how do we actually do it? Well, it boils down to 4 really practical steps. First, demonstrate empathy. Really try to understand how someone else is feeling. Second, show respect. Treat them the way you'd want to be treated and hold them in high regard. Third, be genuine. you gotta be honest and sincere. People can spot a fake a mile away. And fourth, and this is a big one, listen actively. Don't just stand there waiting for your turn to talk. Use little cues, both verbal and nonverbal, to show you've truly heard and understood what they're saying. So here's the crucial point. All the conferences and training in the world can't replace the simple, profound act of just listening. It's not about checking a box for cultural competency. It's about being present, being curious, and truly, really hearing the person who's right there in front of you. Which you can see brings us right back around to where we started. It's all about making a fundamental shift in how we see each other. Maya Angelou put it just perfectly. She said our diversity creates a rich tapestry. Every single thread, every identity, every background, every experience is equally valuable. Our job isn't to try and categorize all the threads, but to step back and just appreciate the beauty of the whole incredible design. And that really leaves us with one final question to carry forward. In our own lives, in our own professions, how can we make sure that we are always looking past the chart, looking beyond the label, to truly see the whole person?